Morning, gang. It's Wednesday, the 27th of February, 2019. Welcome along to this morning's United Kingdom talk, coming to you from Bracknell in Royal Berkshire on what looks like another beautiful day, the last day of the quite warm weather. We must have had 70 degrees yesterday while I was driving into London. What a day yesterday. I had so much to do yesterday, but I must just read you this story that I've come across as I was preparing today's wonderful television broadcast, this worldwide phenomenon known as me. Okay, now look at this. This is in the Daily Mirror this morning. Mobile World Congress, it do say it, Mobile World Congress is one of the biggest technology conferences where some of the biggest smartphones are launched every year. But while you might have heard about some of the big announcements like Huawei and Sony, Xperia, there's some quirkier gadgets you may have missed. Now, it's got a few bits and pieces down here. They have the smart shin guard. These are new things coming out. The smart shin guard. It says, from robots to driverless cars, artificial intelligence has been used in a range of exciting products. Now the technology has been used in shin guards for the first time. Yes, those of you who are really butch and going around playing rugby and football and you're worried about those poor little knees, something for you. Oh yes, look at this. Oliver has designed a smart shin guard which provides feedback to amateur footballers. Well, that's got to be the entire England football team, isn't it? Amateur footballers led by head amateur himself, that one with the funny hair. What's his name? The one with the wonky face. Oh, what's his name? Wayne Rooney. He's got that awful hair transplant. The shin guards collect real-time data from amateur football players and processes for an artificial intelligence algorithm. Why don't you become a newsreader? Because I can't say the words, that's why. Algorithm. That's it. Algorithm to deliver football-focused insights to players. The shin guard isn't cheap. It costs $199. So, I don't know, what's that? About 150 quid. We'll wait to see if they catch on. Right? That's not all. The best one's coming up. Okay? Straight line pen. They're designed especially to help people draw straight lines, but rulers could be a thing of the past if this pen is anything to go by. Laying Over has designed a pen that allows you to draw perfectly straight lines. Wow. The pen, dubbed the Jet Ride, features a normal biro nib at one end and a nib accompanied by two rollers at the other end. It does the job, but I'm slightly baffled as to why it's better than a ruler, says the writer. Only €3 for that, okay? Okay, €3 for that. Do you remember that thing? Spirograph. Anyone have a Spirograph? You had the little wheels, didn't you? It was like a massive gear thing, really. And you put your pen in a hole. They had several holes in these little wheels. You put a pen in there, and you went round and round, and it drew all the beautiful pictures. Do you remember that? Spirograph. And I bet you can still get that. Spirograph. That was a good thing. Excellent Christmas present, that was. And anti-snoring devices. Now, of course, if you're on your own like me, you haven't got to worry about some old bastard. Shh. Now, my dad was a snorer, but I'm not classing him as an old bastard. Thank you very much. My dad was wonderful. But you know what I mean, girls and boys. When you got some, and met women as well. My sister snores. Oh, yes. Because my great nieces and nephews have told me. Nanny snores. Oh, ghastly. Well, there's an anti-snoring device now. I generally did a double take when I walked past the Godsome stand, confused as to what woman on it had as to what the woman on it had on her face. I quickly learned it was a nasal breathing maker, an anti-snoring device. And she does look very strange. It's like this blue thing what's up here and comes down there and keeps her mouth closed. Or it looks like it anyway. The device, which strongly resembles medical tape, is strapped between your chin and philtrum. That's him. Essentially strapping your mouth shut. You might suffocate. By keeping your lips pressed together, the device opens your airways, stopping you from snoring. How can that work? Just a minute. I don't see how that can work. Surely that's going to stop you from breathing. Just a minute. Well, where have I got to put it? I'm just referring to the photo here. 1 minute. We've got a bit of electrical tape here. What if your nose gets blocked up? What a stupid idea. Who came out with that? You get blocked up nose. How many times you've gone to bed and you've got, oh, I can't breathe. I can't breathe from my nose. And you're breathing through your mouth. Well, that's not good, is it? We'll all suffocate in our sleep. Well, that's another one. Here's the best one, gang. You'll love this one. Now, this will be ideal for me and my mate who suffer from this. Ready? It is an anti-constipation belt. I kid you not. It says, this is in the Daily Mirror this morning, if laxatives are getting you nowhere, this belt could be the answer to your constipation needs. Oh yes, the belt is called woes 1, is worn around the waist and massages your stomach to get your bowels moving. Oh, I can so see some of you sitting at your desks with one of these on. Despite strongly resembling a slender tone, now this was a thing in the 70s. I don't know if you can still get them, and it used to vibrate. It vibrated. You put it around your stomach, and it vibrated, and around your arse as well, okay, depending where you were doing, and it's vibrated rapidly, and it was supposed to make you slim. People used to stand on these things for hours. Most of them, and I'm sure it caused some of people to get Parkinson's disease. You ask people who have got Parkinson's disease, they all had a slender tone. That's what happens. That's what happens. When you put that slender tone on, it shakes your arse away, or it's supposed to anyway. Didn't work for most of them, as we can see when we walk down the shopping centre now. If I go down that shopping centre now, there'll be hundreds of people walking around with great big fat arses. I wonder if they got slender tone. This item is €649. What's a euro? We don't use those here, dear. We might have to, judging by what's going on in Parliament at the moment. Yes, so it's called a woes 1, and it massages your stomach to get your bowels moving. I think that's an excellent idea. So there we are. That's what we all need. Those of you who've got constipation, go out and buy one of those lovely things there, okay? All right, shall we say hello to some wonderful people this morning who are joining us, such as the delightful Joanna on YouTube. Good morning, Joanna. Claire L is in the house. Good morning, Claire. I'm glad you enjoyed the organ playing, Claire. I shall be recording some more little tunes, probably downstairs on my organ. I might do another one tonight, actually, all right? There's not many people on the YouTube this morning. Okay. Over on Facebook Live, who's there? Mark Jones, first message of the day. Mark Jones, who has recently adopted a cat. He has taken in a rescue cat. Isn't that a nice thing to do? Take in a rescue animal. Perhaps someone would like to take in me. If I sort of put some scruffy clothes on and sort of, just wander around, do you think someone would adopt me? Could I be adopted? That'd be quite a nice thing. Yeah, you only have to feed me 3 times a day, little bed, and perhaps a hot water bottle at night. Can I have strokes? Can I have strokes? I like strokes. Who likes strokes? I like strokes. Just while I'm sitting there on the settee with you, perhaps like that. Quite nice, wouldn't it be? Very good morning to Maureen, who found the hymn video. Excellent, Maureen. Maureen, as a matter of interest, were you also able to find some sort of subscription button there so you know, or at least the channel that the hymns are on? Were you able to do that? I've created a new YouTube channel, Religious Music and Hymns it's called, but I can't find it. Now, with the link to these shows, as you know, this and the karaoke goes on youtube.com/Chris Reardon UK. Now, the religious music and hymns one is not offering me a name, just a string of letters and numbers, like capital A, small c, 1, 2, capital D, a bit like that. Doesn't give me a name for some reason. I don't know why. It does say check for name, and I follow all that through, and there's nothing there. So it's not offering me. I don't know what you have to do to get a name on there. Very strange. Good morning to Rod Brown. Good morning, Rod. Michael Lawrence is there. Good morning, young Michael. As is indeed. Where are we? Ben. Good morning, Colin. Hello, Colin, my darling. Gustav is in the house, who says, time for a daily dose from the vegan sausage roll gobbler. That's what we like. Vegan sausage rolls. Oh, yes, Michael Pullman. Good morning, Michael, in Australia. All right, sir. Adam the plumber's there. Marab. Good morning, Marab, on a Learn English channel. Good morning to Roy Brownlow. Ray Reynolds is watching live this morning on his brand new LG 49-inch television. Is it good quality on there, Ray? It's not quite like watching normal telly, but it's not far off it, is it? Because we only go out on 30 frames per second. I think the television are on 60. I can't do 30 with the equipment I've got here, unfortunately. Merlin is in the house. Good morning, young Merlin. We've got some radio stuff coming up today, Merlin. You might be interested in. Actually, you might want to comment on that one. Hello to Rob Shaggy Kershaw. Nice to have you with us early today, dear. Bit late the last few times, haven't you? But don't think I don't notice these things. Don't think you can come in late one day. Oh, here, forget about that. Oh, no. I hold a grudge for years. Years, dear. Years. Morning, Rob. I'm very well this fine Wednesday morning. I've been desperate to get in here. I'm having bad night's sleep at the moment. I don't know why. I am not sleeping well at night. That doesn't mean that I'm tired now. This is the thing. I'm not tired. Okay? I could this morning have got up at 6 o'clock, to be honest. I woke up, I had trouble sleeping. I woke up at 6, I woke up at 7, and eventually got up at 8 o'clock. I don't know why I'm having trouble sleeping at the moment. But as I say, I'm not tired. I'm not here like, I haven't been able to... I'm not like that, so presumably that's okay. Don't know what's causing that. Gustav says, I could see why someone would want to tape your mouth shut up, not for just snoring. Why is that then, Gustav? How rude are you, dear? All this effort I go to bring a little bit of sparkle into your sad, lonely, pathetic life, and that's the sort of thing you get from me. Isn't that awful? You're awful. Good morning to Mikey Mike. Mikey Mike, I like that. Mikey Mike, good morning. JP is in the house. Good morning, JP. Can you play Through the Night of Doubt and Sorrow? Oh, I don't know that one. I'll have a look. Hang on, let me write that down for you, Claire. Through the Night of what? Of Doubt and Sorrow. And sorrow. That's probably... Maybe that's why I can't sleep. I'm full of doubtfulness and sorrowness. I'll have a look at... I don't know that one, actually. It's funny, Claire. There was one of those tunes stuck in my head. When I say one of those tunes, it doesn't necessarily need to be a hymn or anything religious like that. But when you get a tune in your head, now, what's that? And it's been in my head for a day and a half. I sang it to my mate last night down the phone. And see if you know what it is. It came to me this morning. It actually came to me when I woke up, and it was still in my head this morning when I woke up. Maybe that's what's stopping me sleeping. I couldn't think of the tune. Here's the tune. Da 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 da. Da 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 ba 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 ba. Any idea? Come on, who knows that one? Who knows what that one is? Have a guess. I have remembered what it was, and I'll tell you in a minute. I'm testing Claire this morning, testing Claire. Good morning to David Wilson Boyer, good morning, who's in Switzerland, who sent me a lovely, I think that was a bit of a private message, so if you don't mind, David, I'll keep that one to myself, but said some nice words to me yesterday, actually. and then didn't get a show. Unfortunately, I was too busy yesterday. So thank you very much for that, David. Much appreciated. Sometimes people send me little private messages, and I do keep them like that, okay? I don't read everything out. So thank you very much. That's a really nice thing to say for you. Rob, on Google Maps review sock incident, I told you last week, Google has sent me in the £50 voucher as an email as a further way of apologising to charge me for the socks to use on the Google Play App Store. Oh, that's a result, isn't it? Because Rob got some socks through the post, right? That they said were free, and they sent them to him, and then sent him a bloody bill. What's a cheek? 50 quid, that's not bad. I mean, they got the money. Oh, these tech companies are making fortunes, aren't they? They really are. Good morning, Martin Edwards. Roy says, what's on top of the toilet seat flag thing? Ah, now that, my friend, is my favourite ever Christmas present. I was 16 at the time. I got a Hornby train set. And this is the engine. This is the Princess Victoria engine, which hasn't run for years. I haven't put that on a track for God knows how many years. Now, I do have, that's what that is. Thank you for asking for that, Roy. But this is very special to me. There's a couple of things here that I got as a child. One, and also I have a clock as well, actually in my bedroom, because. So that was the 16th birthday present. I remember opening the packet, the smell of that brand new electric train set. It's like a smell of plastic and oil, because of course everything would have been oiled on there. And I got it out on this Christmas morning, and it was going around on the carpet. Oh God, I cannot tell you how happy that made me. My favourite ever Christmas present was that train set. Absolutely, you know. Similarly, my 16th birthday present, when I was doing pretend radio, you know, through I had some equipment, nothing special, like an old record player in my bedroom, and I put wired down the stairs with a speaker in the living room. That was my radio station. There was no microphone. I just used to play records down here. Mum, I'm going on the radio now. And then as time passed, I think it was about 14 at the time, maybe 13, 14, 15, something like that. As time passed, I got a friend of mine, this is in the very early 80s, to make me a radio transmitter that would go out on FM, right? So I had this thing wired in, and then I got 2 record players and a mixer and microphone, and we started doing pirate radio from my bedroom. And I wanted a clock, and my birthday was coming up, and I asked for a clock for my birthday present, and that's in my bedroom actually. If I remember, I'll show it to you on tomorrow's show. Okay, it's nothing special. It's just a yellow mustard coloured clock with a tick handle, tick, 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 like that. And because we used to. When we were doing this pirate radio station, we used to nick the news from LBC and play that out and everything. I got done for that. I've told that story before. I don't know if you've heard it before. But yeah, that was my other favourite Christmas birthday present. That one was my clock. Mustard coloured clock. I'll bring it in tomorrow. I'll make sure I bring it in tomorrow. So that's what that is there. All right, Roy. Good morning to Ginny Quinn, who's in Canada. Good morning, Ginny. Welcome along to our little bit of fun that we have every morning. Adrian Richardson, good morning to you. Michael Leggett, seek ye first. You've got it, Michael. You've got it. Anyone else get that? Let's have a look. Merlin says, sounds like the theme to the Antiques Roadshow. No, that is da 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 da. Oh no, that song's a praise. That song's a praise. Da, 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 da. I love all this religious music. I love it. No one else has got yet. You're the only one, Michael. That's the one. Seek ye first the kingdom of God. Hallelujah. That's the one, Claire. Disappointed you didn't get that, Claire. Very, very disappointed. All right. Is that everyone's messages we've done so far? Okay. Good. So yesterday, of course, another absolutely beautiful day. And I've gone out in a T-shirt. In February. Can't believe it. Not even a hooded top over the t-shirt. Just a t-shirt. My hooded top that I can often see going around London. I wear a hooded top. I get on a little bike and I start mugging people. I've got loads of mobile phones here. Anyone wants a mobile phone? You just let me know. If you see someone in like a black hoodie coming up to you, give me your mobile phone, then it's probably me. Just hand over your mobile phone and I will also allow you to have your picture taken with me and an autograph. It can't be fairer than that. You know, because I'm not one in... I believe in giving something for something. Something for something. So I had to go to the hospital yesterday. I had a 6-monthly checkup for a little thing that I've got. So I left here... It was round about, actually a little bit later than I wanted to leave. It was about 10:30 I left here. I wanted to leave at 10. And I drove into Hampstead where I go. I go to the Royal Free Hospital twice a year. So I've driven into London. No real traffic to report. It was quite nice, easy. And getting nice and close. And there's a car park I use, which is kind of... Downshire Hill is the place. It's kind of... on Hampstead Heath as you come, but it's right on the very edge. Okay, it's right on the very edge of here. So you go down this road after coming off the North Circular. You go down this very sharp hill in low gear, and the car park's on the left. And it's a bumpy old car park. It's not like concreted or tarmacked. It's like sand and stones. And now and again they resurface it. Now, for some reason, it's always on my visit when they decide to resurf it. And I got there, I'm indicating left, I got there, gates are closed. Oh, Christ, I fell. Here we go. It's now 12 o'clock, appointment 12:20. You know I don't like being late. I do not like to be late for anything. Well, appointments and work. I absolutely hate being late. Usually, I would be at that hospital half an hour before my appointment starts, and usually called in quite quickly as well. So I've gone down this hill. I thought, oh Christ, well I know, go a little bit further, turn right, there's loads of parking meters, or there used to be anyway. So I've turned down there. Of course, the very fact that that's closed has pushed everyone onto the parking meters, except they're not parking meters now, they're like bays. Okay, so I'm going up and down this road. I thought, there's no parking spots at all. Pulled into this one, residence parking. I'm looking at the clock, 12:05 now. And it's about a 10-minute walk from the car to the hospital. Going round, I've gone up there and then round and then down. And, oh, Christ. Lots of residence parking spaces are empty. The actual paying ones, not empty. Round, up. And eventually, and now I want to go wee now, and I want to go wee now as well. So I've stopped. So I've got the residence parking space. I thought, right, well, I'm just going to have to take the fine and be done with it. Just pay the fine and be done with it. I pulled next to a grassy area and stopped there. And I looked, and residence parking space it was, of course. And I thought, oh, well, just pay the fine and be done with it. I have to be at the appointment early. That's what I'm like. I have to be at that appointment early. Probably would have cost me, 60 quid in a fine. But if I get there early, then I don't mind so much. Believe it or not, that's what I'm like. Closed the door, started walking away. At that point, a car's pulled out. I thought, oh, I looked up, and it was a parking space. How lucky is that? How lucky is that? So I've dashed back to the car, just got back in the car, because the parking space is only like two bits along. Come out of there, turn left, and I'm straight in. Lovely. Got my coins ready. No meter. Pay by phone. Oh, God. Pay by phone. Now, I have had not bad experiences of pay by phone. It's just bloody awkward. Tap, 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 tap. And I thought, well, you haven't got much choice. You're just going to have to do it. So I got the phone out, and I've rung the number on the sign, and immediately it knew it mentioned my old car. Hello, you are driving a red Yaris. Da, 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 da. And I thought, well, that's not my car. Ah, that's the car I had before. And I thought, oh, well, I must have done this before then. So simply by me, it knew who I was. I hadn't said anything or pushed any buttons. I just rang the number. How clever is that? And then I listened to it and said, if you want to book another car, press 2. Press 2. Please say your car number. So, da-da-da-da-da, ba-ba-ba. Okay, then it reads it back, and I thought the B sounded like a V, so I did it again, and it sounded the same. I thought that must be right. So BRB, whatever it is, my car number plate. How long do you want to park for? Do you want to park in minutes? Press 1. Or hours? Press 2. So I pressed 2. How long would you like to park for? And I thought 1 hour should do it. 1 hour. But 1 hour is, to be honest, 1 hour is a bit tight. But you see, I got the most fantastic doctor who looks after me, and he's hilarious. He's hilarious. And generally, he looks at I go in, he looks at his computer screen from the bloods I gave a couple of weeks ago, and then tells me, he said, yeah, that's all right. Okay, here's your prescription. I'll see you again in 6 months. That's usually what happens nowadays. Wasn't at first, but that's what happens now. Okay. So I booked for an hour and thought that. I looked at the clock. It's about 10 past 12 now. I've got a better step on it, So I'm walking briskly in this beautiful sunshine down past the shops and that. And it's funny walking down that. I think, is it Hampstead High Street? I don't know what the name of that road is. There's always the same people around. There's the bloke who sells the big issues, the dodgy Romanian one who's collecting money while sitting there telling everyone he's homeless when you know they're not. There's the NHS people who are trying to get you signed things. It's funny, people are in the same place all the time when you go down there. Went up the stairs, went in, straight there. You have to weigh yourself. Then you have your blood pressure taken. And there's a lovely nurse in there. I know all the nurses now. You do after you've been going for a while. Tom is his name. Lovely chap. And he said, hello, Chris, how are you? You doing your blood pressure? Yeah. I said, how are you? I said, oh, that blooming car park's closed, isn't it? He said, oh, yes, we're having one built. I said, no, not your one. They usually park up on the grass, not the grass, but the sort of sandy area there. He said, oh, are they closed as well? I said, yeah, I've rushed down here. He said, oh. He said, well, you got blooming good blood pressure for you, seeing as you've been rushing about, and a good heart rate. I said, well, I'm not surprised. I go swimming all the time. He said, yeah, that what I do it. So, I've got very good heart and all that. So that was it. Sat down for 2 minutes. Doctor called me in, and he did the usual thing. Tap, 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 tap. Yeah, he puts his glasses on like that. How are you? And he looks you up. He's got his glasses like that. He's a lovely bloke. Mike is his name. Really, really nice bloke. As you sit down, he looks you up and down first. He says, how are you today then? Sort of sussing you out. Then he goes to his computer and the glasses come down slightly like that. Tap, 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 tap. And of course, as always, the computer gets stuck. Oh, don't do that to me this morning, he starts saying. And that was it, really. He writes me my prescription. He writes 3 lots of things, and he always misses one out. I said, don't forget your... Oh, yeah, that's right. He always puts the other one down because he misses that one out all the time. And then you ran that into the dispensing, the pharmacy place. And then you sit there and you get a little raffle ticket. And you sit there and you think, oh, you're going to win a tin of baked beans today or something like that. And you just sit there and wait. And that's the long part of it usually, waiting for your pills. I don't know why. I must have been 20, 25 minutes waiting for the pills. Now the clock's starting to tick down and I'm looking at the clock. It's like 20 minutes to go before my thing runs out on the clock, on the parking thing. Right? And I popped up to the I said, I'm ever so sorry to have to ask. I said, will it be much longer? If it is, that's fine. I'll just extend my parking thing because you can extend it just by calling again. You call again and it says, would you like to extend your parking? It's ever so easy. £2.75 for an hour parking. It's all right. Funnily enough, it's £3.60 in the car park I usually use. And it's cheaper for me to go and park in one of those places now. It used to be the other way round. And she said, oh, ever so sorry. We now have to go to the main pharmacy in the hospital to pick up the pills. They can't hold them in that particular office. Some idiot has changed their minds. Why do they change things? Everything becomes worse when they change something. Have you noticed that? Okay then. She said he should be back in a minute. Okay, I'll hang on for a bit. And the clock's ticking. 5 minutes passed, and then he came back and handed me my big 6 months worth of pills. So I've got those now. And I'm now walking briskly back to the car. And then a text message come through. Beep, 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 beep. You have 10 minutes left on your thing. Oh, wow. It even texts you. I never asked for text. I'm sure I didn't, but it did. You have 10 minutes left. Would you like to extend? And I thought, no, I should be back there on time. So I walked back to the car. Oh, I nearly forgot to tell you. When I first made the call to book the car, of course, knowing my luck, no phone signal. Hampstead is very, very funny for phone signal because they're in a really big dip there. No phone signal. I had to walk for about 4 minutes round the corner, which is a bit dodgy, isn't it? You know, because how do you know the traffic warden isn't going to come to your car and take note before you've booked the thing? So I had to walk round the corner for a phone signal before I got phone signal and booked it like that. But anyway, got back to the car and all was well and dandy, and that was it. All sorted. Thank you very much. See you in 6 months' time. So that was all right, weren't it? So I got in my car and going off to another hospital now to see my mates. Ronnie, and I'll tell you about that in a second. Let's just read some of your messages coming through there. Good morning to Alan Russell this morning. Morning, Alan. Hope you're well. Rob says, do you think winter is becoming less and less a thing in the UK, Chris? And eventually there'll be no such thing as winter. We are to blame for climate change due to everything we do in our day-to-day lives. Yes, I think winter is becoming less and less. I think we will always have a winter, but I don't know how old you are, Rob. But in the 70s, we had snow and ice on the ground for weeks. Certainly ice, literally hard ice on the ground for weeks. We had the most terrible fogs in London. I don't know how the bus ever managed to see through this fog to get us to school, but certainly winters are less now. It will be very interesting to see what sort of summer we have this year. I don't know if you've seen the sort of weather map on the telly when they show this what's that blast of wind that comes through, what's that called, the that wind. And anyway, on the map this wind kind of goes like that right over us, almost in exactly the same shape, like someone has told it to go like that over the UK and keep them nice and warm. Have you noticed that? It's this, what is that thing called? You know that blast that goes around the earth, and it goes like that. There's one at the top and one at the bottom and one in the middle, and this one at the bottom is going like this, and it comes up like that and over us. Have you noticed it on the weather forecast? And I'm looking at, I thought that looks really weird. Why would it just go up where we are? It's almost like someone is telling it to do that. When you get to the UK, just go like that. It is like that. And France and Germany and all those other European countries, they're bloody freezing cold. Freezing cold. Good. Although not as cold as it gets in Canada, is it? The crosswind? Is it the crosswind? I can't remember what that's called now. Climate change, I think we are to do with it. Certainly when you drive in certain areas, the stink of pollution, especially in London. In fact, we had it yesterday in Bracknell as well. When I went swimming last night, I as I'm climbing up, I thought, what is that smell? And all it smelled like was diesel fumes. Whether someone had a bad thing on the back of their car or something like that, I don't know, but it stank last night in Bracknell. When I left my house after I'd had a little sleep at night time and gone up to the swimming pool, it absolutely stank as I was walking up there. I thought the pollution is terrible. I never ever smelt that in Bracknell before. But I think vehicle pollution is probably an awful lot to do with it. We see the amount of cars on the road now. When I come into London, certainly on a Friday, you see the queues and queues of cars coming out on that A4 trying to join the M4, and that's at 7:30ish at night. About 6:30 at night. Queues and queues of cars just sitting there, fumes pouring out the back. See, it was all right when there was only a few cars. In the 70s, like when my dad had a car, not many people had cars, so that was acceptable. I don't think the earth can cope with it. I really don't. Morning to my nephew, Gary Butler, who's finding the whole show very interesting today. I'm glad about that, Gary. Talking to my nephew and my sister and Martin, her husband, they popped around to my caravan yesterday to check that was all right. They sat out the front there for a little while, or sat in there for a little while. They couldn't make tea because I've turned off all the water. I said, just go under the caravan and turn it on again. But I don't think she bothered. Rob says it's worse when they ask you to do work in the doctors as general chit chat. I say I work for the IT department for an NHS trust. They instantly give you the death eyes as to say, you cause me all this stress. What, as the IT bloke, because your computers aren't working. Luckily, the trust I work for is very advanced with technology and hardware, unlike some trusts. Some even have asked if there is anything I can do to speed up their computers during my appointment. Oh, Rob's 32, you see, so you weren't around in the 70s. Oh, winter was so much worse, even worse than the 60s before me. I was, in 1963 I was born. Thank you, Claire. The jet stream is what I was looking for there, Claire. You're quite right. The jet stream, those winds that go across the world. And as I say, I've been watching this weather, and it's just the weirdest thing where this jet stream, right exactly where we are, decides to go up like that, and then on the other side of the country, comes down like that, and we're right in it. Straight. Don't you find that's a bit strange, Claire? I mean, look at it. That looks really odd. That don't look right. Merlin spent his day in a park with a laptop working. And then we went to work in the evening. You poor old thing, Merlin. You work too hard, love. Hello to Lily Von Shut Up, who says jet stream. Thank you. That's what I was looking for there, Lily. Thank you, darling. Not ISIS, not the bars. Martin Edwards also says Jetstream as well there. Okay, you're very quiet on the old YouTube today, aren't you, everyone? Everyone's very quiet on the YouTube. Now, let me see what else. Good. So, got in my car, went on my way to the Chelsea and Westminster Hospital. So, I'm going now from North London to West London. More traffic there. I'm having to come through London. On the A40, and again I noticed I had to close my windows because it stank. It stank of pollution. And funnily enough, there were signs on yesterday, please turn off your engine when idling, pollution levels high. So it wasn't just me smelling it, they were actually lit up. Isn't it awful nowadays that we actually have to have signs telling us to turn off our air because the pollution is so bad? Isn't that dreadful? Absolutely dreadful. Got to the hospital. They've got a car park there, and so I go down underneath the Chelsea and Westminster Hospital where my mate is. We go down in this car park and round and round. The only car parking spaces, of course, are the ones that are next to the pillars. You know, so you haven't got so much space. And I had a big car and I thought, oh, maybe I won't get in there, but I did. I got in one of those as well. Went up the stairs. Well, there's all these people queuing for the lifts. Honestly, you've only got to go up 2 flights of stairs. Not to wait for the lift. Dear me. So I've jumped up the stairs. And went to see my mate. He had the doctor with him at the time. Who was doing some bits and pieces. And I went to put a mask on, and the doctor said to me, oh, you haven't got to worry about that mask anymore. So presumably the doctor knows that he's got a lot better now, and he's not like can be infected much or infect people himself, I suppose. And we made a little video there. You may not know, but I've started doing the short Instagram videos again. Now, they go on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. At the moment, they're not going up on YouTube, but I might have found a way of doing that. So if I have, I shall start uploading those to YouTube as well for anyone that might be interested in those. But for now, you could join us on either the Instagram or Facebook, facebook.com/Chris Reardon UK, or Twitter, twitter.com/Chris Reardon UK, Reardon UK on there. I think the Instagram is Chris Reardon UK as well. I'm pretty sure it is. Just do us a follow there. The short videos are about a minute long. That's all they are. And I do sometimes 3 or 4 of those a day. I don't go out specifically to, let me go and do a video. I might be just doing something like, I can just talk about this. So I often do those little short videos, which are proven people quite like the shorter ones. And I do get that. I know certainly younger people, they don't stay for a long show like this. This type of thing that I do here, this is very old school. I've come to realise that. You know, it's a bit like a chat show without any guests, isn't it? Do you see what I mean? But it's very old school, and young people just do not have the attention span to last more than 3 minutes at anything. I don't know why that is. I noticed this when I was DJing, certainly with music. I used to be able to play wonderful 12-inch mixes of stuff, and there's some fantastic 12-inch mixes of stuff where you get a good bit of instrumental in the middle, maybe a big band or an orchestra playing stuff. The Village People stuff is really great. If you get a chance to listen to Go West by Village People 12-inch mix, look it up on YouTube, or Donna Summer Last Dance. Oh my word, that has the most marvellous string bit sort of in the middle, extending it, you see, to about 8 minutes long. Young people can't handle that. No. If a record's longer, and I know, as I say, I noticed this when I was DJing, I could no longer play these long mixes because they'd come up, oh, can you put something else on there? We're bored with this. Literally, people would come up and say that. So in the end, I became a glorified jukebox. It became very, very boring DJing. Very boring. You just couldn't play these long songs anymore. Even when we went on to the 7-inch mixes, they'd hear the song start, then they'd dance, and then after about a minute, they'd come up, what's next? What do you mean, what's next? Well, can you tell us what's next, please? No, I can't tell you what's next. Why not? I said, because I don't know yet. Why don't you know? It's like they're bored straight away. So I do get that. The little short videos are more popular with the younger people. So I'll see if I can get those on YouTube as well as from the next one. I think I found a way of doing that. All right, so there we are. Good. Good morning to Tony Power this morning. Just joining us. Morning, Tony. And Julian Clark is there. Says, if it's mild now, there could be another cold snap later in March or even April. Yeah, but that's what you're saying there, Julian. A cold snap. That's all we get now. Cold snaps. Quick snaps of coldness. Not long snaps. Like this show. Far too long. Far too long. Tony, all you have to do is turn your video into an MP4, Chris. Now, it goes on there. The little short videos I do automatically save to the phone anyway, so I just need to upload them straight to YouTube from the phone. I'm pretty sure that will work. And for people like Maureen, because she don't have Instagram or Facebook or anything like. Oh, have I cut myself off there or anything like that? So if you watch on YouTube, you should be able to get those. All right. Lisa is young and she doesn't get bored. Good on you, Lisa. At last, someone sensible here. Lisa, don't get bored. Hello to UK English, just joining us there. Very good morning to you as well. All right, so there we are. I've had, I'm with my mate. We've made a short video, uploaded that, and we went out for some lunch. So we go through the hospital. Now, my mate's got this thing where he bloody talks to everyone all the time. And I'm like, come on, I'm ill, I can't walk very quick. Oh, do me a favour. Come on! He has to stop and talk to everyone on the way out of the hospital. I'm starving hungry here. It's now 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I had breakfast at 8. I'm starving hungry. So we crossed the road. He's crossed the road. He's got this dressing gown on. We've crossed the road. And it's a busy road. What's the name of that road? It could be the Fulham Road. Might be Fulham Road or North End Road, one of the two, I think. The buses and the taxis stop for us. And I'm sure he bloody slows down purposely for attention as he crosses this road. And we found this bagel shop, which is literally opposite the hospital. So we went in there and we sat down. Quite nice. And there's no sort of people looking at us because he's looking ill and he's got a white dressing gown. And presumably, they get a lot of people from the hospital who do this. Literally, they come out of their hospital beds, walk across the road for tea and a bagel. So we sat down, a lady came over to us. It was quite busy in there, actually. Well, what can I get you, please? So given us the menu. And I ordered a lovely selection of food they had in there, actually. A pizza bagel. Literally a pizza bagel. So they cut it in half and they put a little bit of that tomato stuff on and cheese on the top there. And a cream cheese bagel. Bagels are, of course, a Jewish thing. Very Jewish thing. There's a place in Brick Lane. There's a couple of places in Brick Lane, but there's I think one of them is like the main one in Brick Lane. It's got all glass at the front, and I do like a bagel. I do like one of those. So there's a selection there. I had the cream cheese, and I can't remember what he had. So I had those two, which were Absolutely delicious. Honestly, this cream cheese was that thick. They weren't tight, I'll tell you that now. There's nothing worse than going into a bloody restaurant or a cafe and they're tight with the after you paid for the food and then they're tight with it. I thought, is that it? You know, I'd walk out of a place. If I was really that pissed off with the amount of food I was given before, I would simply walk out. It's annoying, that is. Usually it's the big ones that do that. It's not the little family-run ones. It's the big corporations who own, I don't know, a selection of shops somewhere, and someone at the top has said, "Oh, just give them one slice of cheese instead of two to save a bit of money, but we'll charge them the same amount." You know, I hate that. So decent sized food there, and I wasn't really hungry. And then I had a cookie as well, a cookie, nice big cookie with bits of chocolate in it. Oh, it was lovely. And he had one bagel and one cookie as well. And I had 2 cups of tea, and he had 1 cup of tea, and then the bill came. 24 quid. I mean, for Christ, 24 quid for that? Of course, we're in Chelsea, aren't we? I'm not surprised. 24 quid for 3 bagels, 2 cookies, and 3 cups of tea. That's a bit much. I told my sister. I rang up my sister on the way home. She went, "Man, because we can go to Skegness, dear, go to the chip shop there and have 3 massive great meals for like 15 quid. £24 for that. 30 with the tip. I'll give her a £5 tip. I'm a good tipper. You look after me, I will always tip you well. Don't be tough. If you're out in a restaurant or something like that, these poor people, they're usually youngsters, you know, they get sod all wages in a lot of these restaurants. If they've looked after you, give them a good tip. Always. Absolutely, always. So we had that, and that was really nice. I enjoyed every moment of it, apart from paying the bill. And we walked out of there. And as we came out of the shop, we thought we'll go over at the lights this time, the traffic lights like that. Just a moment. Adrian says Brick Lane is good, 24 hours. But there's a good one in Hendon on Church Street. Bagels are so good, and their cakes were yummy. Oh, Adrian, I don't know that Hendon's no good to me. I don't really go that way. There is one in Shepherd's Bush, actually. But unfortunately, some years ago, they decided to put double red lines next to it because there's a lot of buses there, and you can't stop. And there's cameras everywhere. You don't dare stop. So I stopped going there. And that's at least 10 years ago I stopped going there. And on the way home, when I used to eat dead animals, I'm sorry, Lord, please forgive me. When I used to eat dead animals, I used to go in there and have a sausage and cheese, 2 sausage and cheese bagels on the way home. And they were delicious. Delicious. And then some idiot decides to put double red lines outside it and cameras. So no one stops there now. They must have lost an awful lot of business. The only way you can do it is to park around the corner. I don't want to park in Shepherd's Bush. You don't want to get out your car in Shepherd's Bush, mate. Oh, what a dump. Well, how can anyone live in Shepherd's Bush? I do like these people on like the BBC radios. They can't say anything like that. It's like, or it might upset people. No, it's a shithole. Shepherd's Bush is a dump, dear. Get out of there if you can. And if you're driving through Shepherd's Bush, don't get out your car, put up the windows and put the central locking on. Do not open your windows in Shepherd's Bush. Very dodgy area. Awful place. I don't feel safe. I certainly wouldn't want to go round the corner in my car and walk back to the bagel shop. No, thank you. Michael Lawrence, Chris, your mate Ronnie says, eat your greens. Yeah, he does, doesn't he? They weren't very nice. You saw the greens video. All these are little videos that I do throughout the day. I'll try and get them uploaded to YouTube as from today. We'll try one sort of on the way to the swimming pool and we'll see if it works, all right? Lisa says, didn't think you liked Skegness. I wouldn't do in the middle of summer during the daytime, Lisa. Absolutely not. My God, the amount of people walking around there. It'd be like Shepherd's Bush, wouldn't it? In Shepherd's Bush, they've got this bit of green on the roundabout. This is a busy, and it's like, when I say it's a roundabout, it's not like a little roundabout, like big roundabout. It's kind of, you go, well, it's not really is it a roundabout? I mean, you can go right round it. It's massive. And there's shops either side of it. And there used to be the BBC there. And, you go around, and in the middle is this bit of green, and the sun comes out. Oh, you want to see them all over this green. You can't see the grass. There's so many people on there, and they're all out there with sandwiches and cans of beer. And then night time, they all go home, and the mess that's left there. Dirty bastards. Mess and cans and sweet wrappers and sandwich packets and things like just literally left on the green. Why do people do it? It was never like that when I was a child. People used to take their rubbish home and dispose of it properly. Now you go down the M4. McDonald's things flying out of car windows as you're behind them. Ghastly people. Ray says, what's the quickest way to Shepherd's Bush? Up a shepherd's leg. Adrian used to go to Shepherd's Bush. I felt completely safe. They just smile. What, in Shepherd's Bush? Do not get out your car in Shepherd's Bush. Ghastly place. So we've had the bagels. We've come out of the shop. Remember when we were in Chelsea and we walked down to the lights. It's only a very, very short walk of about 30 seconds to walk down to the traffic lights instead of across there. So walking, and there's an old lady standing at the door and she's waving. Now, she's really well dressed. She's about 75, 80, I would say. Heavily made up. She's had her hair done. She's dressed up in really nice design. I thought, she's worth a fortune. I just knew because of where we were and how she was dressed. That lady's worth a fortune. And she's very shaky and she's kind of waving. I thought, who's she bloody waving to? She's trying to get a taxi to stop. But she's on the zebra crossing or the traffic lights, one of the two. And the taxi driver's opened his window. He said, I can't stop here, love. There's a camera right on that light here. I'll pull forward. Of course, she hasn't heard that. So she's gone forward and her face has dropped. And my mate said to her, are you all right, love? And she said, I'm trying to get that taxi. He won't stop. And Ronnie looked round and he said, yes, she stopped over there. Here, Chris, take her arm. So here, my love, take my arm. And she gave me her bag as well. She just give me the bag like that. Take that carrier bag she had. So I've got her arm like that in the bag. Ronnie's gone to the walk just a little bit further forward to the taxi and opened the door for her. And she's holding on and I'm pushing her ass into the. It was like something out of a Carry On film. I kid you not. And of course she's seen him and all this white stuff. She says, what's wrong with him? What's wrong with him over there? Bless her. Oh, she was worth a fortune. I knew she was worth a fortune, this dear old lady. And I said, oh, he's got bad lungs. She said, oh, is it cancer? I said, no, emphysema and some other bits and pieces. She says, oh, smoke? I said, yeah, we used to. Shouldn't smoke. And we've got to the taxi, and as she's trying to get in it, she's got one hand up like this. I've got a bag and I'm trying to shove her in without actually touching her ass, because that's just rude, isn't it? You know, you don't want to be doing that. I'm pushing her in with my ass. You right, love? I'm just pushing her. Yes, it's all right. She's going, and she stopped halfway in the taxi and turned around at my mate. She says, you're very naughty. Don't smoke like that. And she's got into the taxi, settled down. I've handed her bag in, and she's thanked us very much. I've closed the door, and a taxi driver as well. Fantastic. Black taxi drivers are fantastic. You wouldn't get that with many of those Uber people. Rude. I know that I've never ever been in an Uber. I feel the same about Uber as I do for Ryanair. I won't get in one. But I've been told how rude those people are who drive those Uber cars. And plus they can't drive anyway. So the black taxi, you'll get so much good service from these black taxi drivers. You really will. And he's opened the window and thanked us for helping the lady. And that's all right. And off he goes. And she'll be quite safe with him. Quite safe. He knows where he's going and everything. So that's fine. So that was quite nice. We felt quite good after doing someone a good turn like that. Crossed over, went into the hospital. And I took Ronnie up to the, paid for the parking, took Ronnie back up to the ward, and I left him at the front door there once he was up the ward, come back down, and drove home. Actually, the traffic coming home wasn't too bad at all, to be honest. It was a really fairly decent drive home, so I was happy with that. And that was it. Came back here, went straight to bed for a couple of hours. It was late now. It was quite late now. I woke up about 7:30, which I don't like waking up at 7:30. That's too late. That's too late. I like to be up again at about 6, 5:30, because otherwise, you know, you kind of push forward the time you should be going to bed, or forward or backwards. One of the two. I can't remember which it is now. So I got up. I thought, I don't know if I can be bothered to go swimming. And I had a cup of tea and I thought, no, I'm going swimming. So I walked up to the swimming pool, had my swim. 2 idiots in there, millennial types. It was me and a very young lad, actually. He was about 18 or 19. He was on one side and I was on the other side. We were quite happily going up and down our sides. And then these 2 idiots got in, millennial types, who think they own the pool. You know the sort, don't you? You know the sort. Anyway, so they did that. And the funny thing is, those people who go at 10 times the speed of sound, they have to keep stopping and resting. I love it. I love it. They've passed 4 times and then they stop. There I and I carry on. The snail. We all know that one. The snail always wins. I am that snail. The snail always wins. Good morning, Dominique. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. So I had my swim and then I come back here. I did some dinner, watched a little bit of telly. I watched Holby City. That was on late last night, wasn't it? Holby City was on very late last night. Watched that. Then I watched a bit of Shetland. And then I played a bit on my piano, just my own fun downstairs. And then I come to bed. And I had the most terrible night's sleep again. Couldn't get to sleep. Kept waking up. Woke up 3 times last night. Funny, innit? But I don't feel tired. I'm not. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting here now. If I was tired, I wouldn't be sitting here. I'm not tired at all. After this, I'm going to pop into town. I've got to go to Morrison's. I go to Morrison's to get me Linda McCartney burgers, and then I'll come back here. Probably have some lunch, do a bit around the house, and hopefully Ronny is coming home today. He should be coming home tonight. He's got to have a few bits done, a few nebulizing things done. Another round of antibiotics, and I think they're letting him go tonight, which he's really missing his cats. Bless his heart. He absolutely adores his cats. He's got 4 cats and really misses them. All right, so that was my day yesterday. Good. How are we doing on messaging? Good morning to Paul and Lou. Blimey, Paul, what's going on, Paul and Lou? You come so late now, dear. We've been here for nearly an hour. How is that? Nice shirt. Sale at the charity shop. Do you like this one? I've had this on a few times. There you go. Look, it's nice. It's got little things on it. They're like those ganja leaves, aren't they? Actually, I'll probably be nicked as I'm walking through town with this. Thinking, oh, why is he wearing ganja leaves on there? Let's search him. Oh, I don't like that smell. What's that called? Pot. No, they don't usually call it. Is it now? What's it called? They call now. What's the really skunk? Skunk. That's it, isn't it? Oh, have you smelt that? Stinks. There's a few people around here that smoke that. You can tell. It's like where I park, where my garage is. Like the people upstairs there. Oh, it stinks. I nearly swore then. It stinks. I can't bear that smell of drugs. And it's funny, people come up to you in the pub. And they come and talk to you. Hello, Chris. And it's on them. That stink of drugs. It's awful. Ganj. That's it. Is that what it's called? Ganj. Dominic says, I watched Lion from when you recommend it. Ah, yes, the film Lion on Netflix. Wonderful, wonderful film about this little Indian boy who goes to seek work and gets lost for 26 years. Or whatever it is. He gets lost. And then he finds his mum again, right? Oh, I've just told you the ending. Oh, sorry. But getting to it is good. You've got to watch that film on Netflix. Dominique has watched it now. Said it was good. So happy when it was on Netflix here in Canada. Lovely, lovely film that is. Good. All right. Now, there's a radio story. I was going to do this so much earlier. I don't know if I should save this for another day now, this radio. No, I'm going to do it now. I said I'd do it now. So, I follow radio quite a lot. I always wanted my own radio show as a little boy. Not a talking one, funnily enough. I wanted a music show. My top radio DJ is Tony Blackburn and all people from that area. You know, Dave Lee Travis, dare I say Jimmy Savile, okay? I know he's a pedo, or was a pedo, we found out now. But when it was on the radio, we didn't know that. We didn't know. He was just like this bloke with great, with enormous charisma who was on the radio. We didn't know he was a pedo, didn't know. You know, so him, and that kind of school there, Simon Bates, all those ones. They're my radio DJs. And that's what I wanted to do. I really wanted a radio show, so I told you I did a little pirate station for a while. I kept this up right through the 80s and early 90s. And in the early 90s, I kind of started falling out of love with independent local radio, certainly, because it started becoming formatted. You know, whereas before you could go all over the country and it would be really completely different. They do it like that, they do it like that. And then eventually everyone started sounding the same, like robots. And that's how it is now. Although there is a little bit of personality, that's how it is now. And in those times, I think people looked for radio DJs, or maybe just DJs in clubs. Someone would come up to you and say, oh, quite like what you do. Do you want to come and do a radio show for me? And you go and do your radio show for that station, right? Nowadays, very different. You want to be on the radio, you need to go to the station and you need to make yourself sound as they want you to sound. Very different. Very, very different. Your idea of what you want to do, they don't want that. They want you to do what someone has decided they want that station to sound like. Very, very different. All your creativity, forget it, mate. Forget it. Okay, that's how it's become. Well, it's about to get even worse. I mean, there were all over the country, there are lots of radio stations and people doing the show slightly differently. Not as differently as it was before, but slightly differently. That's about to change. What's been happening over the last few years is that one or two companies have been buying up all these small little radio stations. So as I say, at the moment, wherever you are in the country, it is slightly different. Two presenters there, presenter there, presenter there, presenter there, presenter. Lots of little presenters doing their thing, right? This is about to change. One or two companies have been buying up all these small radio stations. And I saw this coming a few years ago. They're all about to be sacked. So if you've got a local radio station where you are and you've got these people doing the breakfast show in the morning, they're about to be sacked. Here's the story. Global Media, now that's one of these big players. And it's all about money. All about money. Global Media has announced it will launch UK-wide national breakfast shows on Capital Radio, Heart Radio and Smooth Radio. Global says they will be creating the three largest commercial radio breakfast shows in the UK with 4.8, 3.7 and 2.7 million listeners respectively each week. But it means a reduction in locally produced programmes. This is on the BBC website this morning. With more than 100 jobs at risk due to the changes. I would imagine it's more than 100. I would say more like 250. It's got to be. When you think about all the other people involved, not just the presenters, but the researchers and all that who do the local bits and pieces, that's all going to go. I'm sure you'll still get your traffic news in your own local area and possibly your own local weather news, but that's about it. That's about it. The days of you telling people that you'd gone down to the local library in Bracknell and got out several books will be gone, because when you mention Bracknell, not everyone will know what you're talking about. So they won't talk about it from London or wherever this is going to come from. It says it means a reduction in locally produced programmes with more than 100 jobs at risk due to the changes. Ofcom has approved the move. Ofcom have approved the move following a change in guidelines for local radio. Capital will launch their network breakfast show first in April, with Heart and Smooth following later in the year. Capital's London breakfast show will replace 14 breakfast shows on the Capital network in England, Scotland and Wales. Capital will have 9 drive time shows, including London, Liverpool, North East and Yorkshire, instead of the current 14, so they've cut back there. Heart Radio will have a single breakfast show across England, Scotland and Wales instead of the current lineup of 22 breakfast shows. So 1 replacing 22. So you see where this is going. They will also have, Heart will have 10 drive time shows instead of 23. So that's kind of the 4 till 7 p.m. slot there. Smooth will create a new national breakfast show, replacing breakfast programmes in the East Midlands, West Midlands, North West, Lake District, North East, Scotland and Wales. All gone. Smooth's drive-time programme will be reduced to 7. Global says local news and travel information will continue to air on a local licence level as per legislation requirements. And this is all very easy now. With the technology we've got, it's all very easy. But you've got to time it, you see. So, say they've got the national radio programme coming from, I'm assuming it's going to be London. So you've got the national radio show coming from London, and now your local news, and the time will tick over, and then some bloke somewhere else, or a lady, of course. I mean, they might even be in London as well. They're probably a recorded segment. They record, and they just slot it in to that 1 minute slot, and then they go back to London. It's quite easy to do. Got to be on the ball, but it is quite easy to do. And it would have to be exactly 1 minute, depending on what they've decided to do. Analysis by the Radio Today magazine said that 95 local radio presenters could lose their jobs as a result of the changes. So that's just the radio presenter. What about everyone else involved in the programme, you see? The change also means closure of broadcast facilities, more jobs. Sites earmarked for closure are Brighton, Cambridge, Chelmsford, Exeter, Gloucester, Kendal, Kent, Lancaster, Norwich and Swindon. And it says Global's, which is one of the big players, one of the big radio station owners, revamp is likely to be replicated at its biggest commercial rival, Bayer, which is just an awful name to say, Bayer, which owns stations like Kiss, Absolute Magic. So they will probably do the same thing. It's all about saving money. And I have to say, I agree here with Labour's deputy leader, Tom Watson, who is the Shadow Culture Secretary, who said the announcement was a terrible blow. Replacing local voices with London-based presenters will be a terrible loss to communities across the country. And I've got to be honest, I totally and utterly agree with her. Local radio, wasn't it independent local radio? Hello? Local? Not anymore, mate. Not anymore. Of course, the big stations would argue, they need to save money. They always say they need to save money. And there is an argument also for saying that a song played from London sounds exactly the same as a song played from Surrey or Glasgow or Llewellyn. Anywhere. It all sounds the same. Doesn't matter where you play it from, but it's just a shame that you lose that localness. I think it's a great shame. As I said, it's something I always wanted to do that, but once they took the whole be your own person out of it, I lost interest. And thank God that I'm able to do this, as I am completely free to do anything I want on this little thing. Okay, so I may not have the millions and millions of people listening and watching the show, but that's okay because I'm in complete control. I just do what I want, what I think people might want to look at or listen to. How lucky am I? And it's the same, thank God, for internet radio stations. And, of course, community radio stations. There are hundreds and hundreds of little community radio stations up and down the country. And these cannot be bought by the big boys. And there are people on those doing their own thing. There's a couple up in Lincolnshire where I am that are quite close to me. There's Lincoln City Radio, which is in Lincoln, and there's Endeavour Radio, which is in Boston, which is actually quite close to my caravan. I have considered, sort of going down there and perhaps saying, do you think, is there a slot available? Perhaps I could do a little show for you. They don't put anyone on. You'd need to be able to do something, but I consider doing that. But these are unpaid things. You know, you need a job, and that's kind of a hobby. Yeah? This, in effect, is a hobby. But I'm doing what I love. There's no one telling me to tell you the station name every 5 seconds or what the next 3... How boring is that? Boring. Very lucky. There's thousands and thousands of little internet stations. Some run in bedrooms, some run more professionally, and some of the FM stations that restream their thing on internet radio stations. But there's bedroom stations on the internet you can listen to. Some of them are damn good, some of them are abysmal, some of them are awful. But it doesn't matter. These are people that have set up little stations and are doing it as they think fit, not being told what to do by these people in big offices who have nothing on their mind other than to make more money. Radio with a passion. You need to be listening to internet radio stations now. Or of course community radio stations. People on community radio stations, I don't think are getting paid. I think one gets paid. I think it might be the breakfast one, but generally they don't get paid. They are there because they have a passion for doing it. They want to be there, and my God, does that come across when you listen to some of them. Listen to some of these little independent local radio stations now, and it's so fake. It comes across as fake. Someone has sat there with a script and they're reading bits from this script. It is so fake, it's unbelievable. Shame. What a shame. That's where you want to be, listening to those people who actually want to be on there. You think someone's sitting in a little bedroom all on their own because someone's forced them to do that? No, no one's forced me to do this. I love it. I love it. And I hope that comes across. So very, very sad about the older radio stations there. Paul says we're on Brummy time. Is that right? Is that like 4 hours behind everyone else? Is it, Paul? They talk funny. Paul says the worst are BBC local radio. I should get rid of them. What's the favourite colour? What's your favourite colour? Phone-ins and traffic reports 3 weeks out of date and about 50 working there. Yeah, I mean, I've listened to BBC Lincolnshire. I thought that was all right. And BBC Radio London. And again, with those stations like that, again, going back to the community stations and the BBC local ones, to be fair, when you get different communities in certain areas, such as Birmingham, I'm sure you've got a few Asian stations there and maybe possibly you have a large Muslim religion. There's probably a Muslim radio station there. I know there's a couple in London. There are Christian radio stations pumping out Christmas stuff, Christian stuff all the time. There's soul music stations. There's a rock station in London. There's a Greek station. There's a Polish station. Small community radio stations set up to serve those sort of people, you see. Because the ILRs aren't going to be doing it anymore. Just be one station. No fun. No fun at all, I'm afraid. Roy says community radio station is more free and easy. Yes, exactly, Roy. Exactly what I was saying. You could go. I mean, you would have certain rules on community FM stations. You don't have those rules on internet at all. Anyone could go on the internet and do anything they want. You could be absolutely vile if you want, and you'd still be on there. There's no one to kind of take you off the internet ones. But community radio, you would have some rules to stick to, but they're common sense rules. They're common sense rules, which are not hard to stick. It's like no one's telling you exactly what to say and play all the time. Rob, did you see the story yesterday about the global group that own Capital Heart? Yes, which is just what I've read out there. Shame. It is a shame. This is, of course, what happened, I think, to ITV. Ruined. Absolutely ruined. You had all these stations all over the country doing little bits, and they'd all join up for programmes and things like that. And you had your your little continuity bloke or lady in between the stations who you related to. You related to that person. I know one of them, my friend Tom Edwards. He did Thames Television, he did Central, he travelled the country and did different ones. Central, Thames, HTV, he did a few different ones. I think ATV as well, I think he did before that became Central. That all become one. ITV, no Thames, no London Weekend, no Southern, no Westward, no TVS, no Yorkshire, no Tyne Tees, no Granada. It's all gone, ITV. And you've lost so much by doing. They lost so much by doing that. I think it was all a cost-cutting exercise. I suppose all these presenters. I don't know how much they earn. I should imagine ITV presenter. You would have been on a good whack then. Really, and they got rid of all of it. Became one faceless organisation. Ruined it. And look at them now. The crap that's on ITV now. There are occasionally good things. And is it Endeavour that I've got on the hard disk? And there was one. What's the a bit like Upstairs, Downstairs? There's one of those on, wasn't there? And now they're going to do the same to the local radio. What can you do? It's pointless saying anything. No one will listen ever. No one will listen. Good morning to us. Rob says the traffic news will be nationalised like Radio 2's. Well, that's just a waste of... National traffic news is just a complete and utter waste of time. I don't know why they bother. Radio 2. Oh, a car was broken down on the M60 in Scotland. What use is that to me? How many people is that useful to? National traffic reports are a complete and utter waste of time. They really are. And then there you are, sitting on your side road in Bracknell, stuck there for half an hour. No one's mentioned that. No, traffic news is a waste of time anyway. You want it on your sat-nav. That's the only way to do that. Good morning to Mr. Gregorian. Morning. Breaking news. We had an earthquake in Gatwick at 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh, my God, did we? I missed that. In other news, BBC and ITV are launching a collaboration to rival Netflix, charging £5 a month. Is that right? I didn't know that. Roy's quite right there. They all now use the same top 40 countdown. I saw that advertised. All these local stations are playing the same thing out now. And how long before all these different local radio stations' name disappear? It will just be Capital FM. Smooth radio. That's all it'll be. Whatever happened of the idea of local radio all those years ago when it was first invented, it's gone, mate. It's gone. And it's going to be called BritBox, is it? Okay. Oh, I'm sure that'll be on the news. I'll have to look that up later. Thank you, Mr. Gregorian. Okay, gang. Let's do today's and yesterday's birthdays. Okay, 2 lots of birthdays today. And first of all, at the top of my list, my very, very good friend David Hunt, who runs a pub in London. Good morning, David. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to my very, very good friend David Hunt. Jason Sutton today. Also drag queen, Miss Jason. Very, very popular at the top of her drag tree, at the top of the drag tree here in the UK, and so much better than those American ones. Happy birthday to you, Jason Sutton, 51 years old. Happy birthday, Jason. I didn't know he was younger than me. What a shame you don't look younger than me, isn't it? Happy birthday. Andrew Keats, very involved in theatre work, is 33 years old today. Good morning, Andrew. Happy birthday to you. Jarrad Brooke. He knows all about radio. He's down in Australia. He's been on so many stations down there. He loves his radio. And happy birthday to you, Jarrad. All right. John Dixon. Good morning, John. 49 today. John does radio. Yes, all the radio. But funny how we done that radio story. Peter May. Hello, Peter. You lovely man. 78 years old today. One of our regular Saturday night customers in Central Station. Good morning, Peter. Happy birthday. Chris Kennelly, our flower man. 56 years old today. Just a year ahead of me, Chris. Happy birthday to you. Mike Cody is 56 on this Wednesday morning. Peter Bliss. Have I done you yet, Peter? Peter Bliss. Happy birthday to Peter Bliss as well on this Wednesday morning. We'll do yesterday's birthdays as well because we weren't around yesterday, gang. Okay, happy birthday on Tuesday to young Chris Bedwell. Good morning, Chris. He does photographs and cooking and everything. Good morning, Chris. Happy birthday to Chris Bedwell for yesterday. Sister Carla. Good morning, Carla. 47 years old yesterday. Andy Cole. Andy worked with me at a few pubs and then became area manager for Aldi. I was talking to him once and I said, you know, I've started going to your shop out, not his particular shop, but I started going to Aldi. I said, most of the stuff is so much cheaper. And he looks at me, he said, do you know what, Chris? It all comes out the same factory. Wherever you go shopping, it's just that Aldi are cheaper than everywhere else. So happy birthday to you, Andy. A young 39 years old today. Happy birthday. Jason Darcy. Good morning, Jason. 48 years old today. Hope you're well. Carla Slater. Hello, lovely Carla. 47 years old yesterday. Patricia Devlin, who is one of my is not one of my cousin's wives. He's only got the one. Patricia Devlin, happy birthday for yesterday. My cousin's wife. Robert Brown, good morning, lovely Robert. His birthday yesterday. Chris O'Hara, happy birthday for yesterday. Tom Goacher, morning Tom. Morning Tom, happy birthday for yesterday. Simon Happily, who does comedy stuff and quiz nights. His birthday yesterday. Good morning, Simon. Happy birthday to you as well. All right, so let us sing a little song. Are you ready, Joanna? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Final lot of messages. Roy says, how long before we get one national stage Chris Reardon show from London only? No more from Lincoln. No, I can't see that happening. I shall start going back up to Lincolnshire very soon. Only a month to wait. Very excited. Very excited. Dr. SOS Gregorian says the ITV BBC thing is only at the moment going to happen in America, but it'll be with us very soon. So that'll be something else for you to sign up for, boys and girls. Rob says the present on Capital National Breakfast Show is going to remain as Roman Kemp, who is only famous for his dad. Who is Roman Kemp? Is he a pretty boy? I bet he's a pretty boy. If he's on Capital, he'd be I think they go for looks there, don't they? Roman Kemp. I don't really know who he is. I think I might have seen his photo on a bus or something like that. Don't know. Don't know. Paul and Lou have started muting me now when I sing. How rude are you? Rude. There we are. Is that everyone? Paul and Lou says there was an earthquake in Birmingham 10 years ago and it caused £5,000 worth, £500,000 of improvements. Oh, so is Roman Kemp's son? Well, we know Martin Kemp, don't we? Roman Kemp is Martin Kemp's son. I didn't know that. But I haven't heard him, so I can't comment. But I would imagine he's a pretty boy if he's on Capital Radio. Maybe I'll send him a little text message or something like that. See if I can get a date there. We never know. Might happen, mightn't it? Thanks ever so much, gang. That's it for the show today. I'm going to cycle it. Oh, I haven't had 11 o'clock pills yet, have I? I'm going to cycle into town now and do a little bit of shopping. And hopefully my mate will be back later on. I'll do short videos as and when. As I say, I do these little 1-minute videos now and again, as and when, throughout the day, sometimes at night time as well. You can find those by going to my Facebook, facebook.com/Chris Reardon UK. And hopefully I'll try one. I'll try and get one up onto YouTube today. These are not live, okay? These are not live. Just little bits of chat for about a minute or so. And hopefully that will work on YouTube as well. Have a lovely Wednesday. It's a beautiful day out there. I can't wait to get outside and jump on the bike and go into town, actually. And I'll see you again very soon. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching and listening. Bye-bye now.